Hello everyone, back tuning into today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. So today's third video, that's going to take us to around the 3rd of September. We'll be able to extend out beyond that for the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. And have a look at CFS V2 for the next month as well. So it can take us into the second half of September. It's a hot afternoon out there this afternoon down across southeast England in particular. So we're going to begin with the latest observations from XC, where we also have some developments in the tropical Atlantic. So we'll talk about that very shortly as well. Just say that the first video released today was the third and final Autumn 2019 seasonal model roundup. So for the last time this season, we are getting 13 long-range models together, and we're going to see what they're all showing for the autumn, or we're seeing what they're all showing for the autumn. So that's done and out way. I'll put that on the autumn updates page this evening with a written summary going over everything we discussed in the video. And then all that remains with the autumn stuff is to release the autumn forecast on Saturday, a week today, Saturday the 31st of August. So that's sort of the autumn updates really out of the way. Also weekend forecast, of course, so that's weekend look ahead, and going to be a pretty hot first half of the week definitely, and then getting cooler later. We'll talk about that in this video update, of course. I'll talk you through what's coming up tomorrow at the end of the video, but we're going to begin by having a look at the latest observations from XC Weather. .co.uk. So as I say, it's a hot afternoon out there in the southeast. We've got 29 Celsius flashing away there at several locations. So it looks like Lakenheath is up to 29 degrees. Let's have a look at a few other places. So we've got Headcorn Aerodrome at 29 degrees, and into London we've also got some stations flashing away there. We can't actually find them, but they are there. They go. London City Airport is at 29, and going up towards Bedford as well, 29 degrees. That station, Benson in Oxfordshire at 29, and also we've got Gloucestershire Airport at 29 degrees elsewhere. Church Lawford is at 27. Oxford Airport is at 28. So into the low 80s Fahrenheit here across much of central, southern, southeast of Britain. Make up a little bit more over the next half an hour or so. It might hit 30 degrees. 29 could be our maximum for today. It's not as warm as that going further north, so up to Loch Glascarnock, we're at 19 degrees there, and Outnahara is at 21, much more comfortable perhaps. Kirkwall is at 18, Wick at just 17 degrees. So right in the very, very far northwest of the country, it's cooler, it's cloudier, and it's also damper too. So if you don't like the heat, head north and west. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow. I think 32 is achievable, 90 Fahrenheit, maybe 33 both tomorrow and on Bank Holiday Monday. Right, I said at the start of the video that things are livening up in the tropics, so here we go. We have got two red X's now, two very two very high probability chances of getting a named storm. When you get a red X, it's sort of over 60% chance that you're going to get a named storm. Let's deal with the one over towards Florida first of all. This one just here. So that is big right up on this. That's disturbance 1 with a 70% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. As of 8 a.m. EDT today, Saturday 24th of August, a broad area of low pressure located inland over South Florida is producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms that extends eastward over the northwestern Bahamas and the adjacent Atlantic water. Significant development of the low is unlikely today, while it drifts northward over the southern and central Florida peninsula. However, environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development once the low moves off the east central coast of Florida over the western Atlantic by Sunday, and a tropical or subtropical depression is likely to form early next week while the system moves northeastward offshore of the southeastern United States coast. Regardless of development, locally heavy rains are possible over the northwestern Bahamas and the southern and central Florida peninsula through the weekend, interest in the northwestern Bahamas, the Florida Peninsula, and the southeastern coast of the United States should monitor the progress of system. The Royal Air Force reserved Hurricane Hunter aircraft scheduled to investigate the system this afternoon could be postponed if the centre of the low remains inland. Another aircraft is scheduled to investigate the system on Sunday, so they're going to have a look at this and see what's going on at the National Hurricane Centre either today or tomorrow. It has a 70% chance of a cyclone forming in the next 48 hours and a 90% chance, very high, 9% chance in the next 5 days. And then, of course, we've also got this red X down here further south into the tropical Atlantic. So let's have a quick look at that one show. This is disturbance 2 with a 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. As of 8 a.m. Today, they're saying showers and thunderstorms associated with a smaller area of low pressure located around 950 miles east of Windward Islands are showing some signs of organisation. Environmental conditions appear conducive for additional development, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next day or two, while the low moves westward to northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Conditions appear less favourable for development when the low reaches the Lesser Antilles and Eastern Caribbean by the middle of next week. So it's got a 70% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone in the next 48 hours and an 80% chance in the next 5 days. By midweek, it could start to weaken as it heads into the islands of the Caribbean. Things are definitely livening up now in the tropics. So it's been a quiet start to this Atlantic storm season, but it does look as though things are now beginning to get going, and we shall see what happens over the next few days. We'll carry on monitoring. Of course, coming back closer to home, these are the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS, which we'll have a look in a moment, is on the bottom. So 500 millibars is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream. Red and orange extrapolates to high pressure, blue to low pressure. This looks quite unsettled for the 7 to 10 day time frame. With the ECM, it has an area of below average heights now sitting just to the north and west of the country. It's got high pressure up towards Greenland, so still a bit of a blocking signal, and it's continuing to bring in the wind from the Atlantic. You remember in yesterday's week to 10 day video update, the model output appeared to be shifting towards the drier side of things for early September. Today, there's been a definite shift back towards unsettled weather through the early part of September. This uncertainty almost undoubtedly being caused by what's going on in the tropical Atlantic, or partly anyway being caused by what's going on there, and the uncertainty in model output with these tropical developments and how they want to handle them. The GFS is very similar. So again, it has an area of below average height sort of centred north of the UK and sort of over us, with high pressure going up towards Greenland. The region we've got at the moment, bringing the hot weather at the moment, that's been pushed away into eastern, northeastern parts of Europe. The flow and the jet will be going something a little bit like that. So it looks pretty cool and unsettled with that one too for the early part of September. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks on Nottingham today. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Nottingham. And obviously we're pretty hot at the moment, and it's going to get a little bit hotter actually over the next 24 hours, and we're going to maintain that sort of level of heat to around Tuesday or Wednesday, after which we get quite a sudden drop now in temperature. Remember, yesterday this looked like rather a slow decline in temperature taking place through next week. Now it looks as though we lower the temperature by something like 15 to 20 degrees in around 24 hours through the middle part of next week. So that would imply perhaps a chance of something thundery taking place there, maybe a thundery trough followed by a cool push of air from the Atlantic around Wednesday through to Thursday. Beyond that, we stick close to the 30-year temperature average with the ensemble mean, but that does mask a little bit of scatter, or quite a lot of scatter actually. You've got these ensemble members up here that are quite hot, these ones down here that are really quite cool, and that does include this thick green line, which is the operational run, the GFS operational run, that I'm going to show you in a moment. So you'll see it in a moment, you'll see the charts yourself in a moment, but it does appear that the this particular GFS run we're going to see shortly is actually on the cooler side of the ensembles. Nevertheless, it looks as though temperatures are dropping away as we hit the beginning of September. Loads of dry weather coming up over the next few days. The rest of the bank holiday weekend is going to be very dry, even into around Tuesday as well. Beyond that, precipitation spikes are increasing as we go into the middle part of next week. It could be a thundery breakdown. And then heading into the first week of September. Today, it's actually looking quite unsettled. Looking more unsettled, I think, than it did yesterday. Through that first week of September with more rainfall spikes. So still a bit of a mystery really where we're going through the first week of September. But I think the models have shifted more towards the unsettled side of things again today, which you'll see very shortly. Temperature anomalies from the 23rd to 31st of August, significantly warmer than average, much above average in most parts of Europe, very hot through Central Europe, Germany and Poland, with temperature anomalies up to 10 degrees above average. Not quite as hot as that in the UK, but nevertheless we're still talking about temperature around 2 to 4 degrees above average. You'll notice Ireland is returning to average, just about the coolest place in the whole of Europe other than southern Italy perhaps. So cooling down there, and that cooler trend will be developed, I think, by these anomaly maps as we go through the next few days. Precipitation anomalies from 23rd to 31st of August, significantly drier than average, so it's a warm, dry week overall coming up. That's how the GFS is looking for Tuesday. This is all covered by weekend forecast, of course. So the heat hangs on in the south and southeast on Tuesday. In the north and west, it is turning a little bit cooler and fresher. And then as we go through from Wednesday to Thursday, we find a push coming in from the Atlantic. So there might be something thundery happening around middle of next week with that trough of low pressure. Once that clears through, that opens the door to westerly wind. The wind is originating from the south of Greenland, so obviously it will be significantly cooler in the second half of the coming week. That's Friday. A slight transient bump of high pressure in the south, but low pressure is developing out to the northwest, and then that's swinging in across the country as we go from Friday through to Saturday. So this time next week, it could actually be quite cool and wet, really, with outbreaks of rain pushing across the country, followed by sunshine and showers. That's Sunday. This is the first day of September and the first day of meteorological autumn. So we're in a cool and showery northwesterly wind on this particular GFS run for Sunday. And then that takes us up to day 10. The high pressure just beginning to ridge back in from off the Atlantic. This is within cool air though. So as this high pressure builds in through the first week of September, yes, it would bring a reasonable amount of dry weather, but it would be probably quite cool actually. Temperatures by day certainly no better than upper teens, I wouldn't have thought there. And by night it could be actually quite cold. Wouldn't necessarily talk about ground frost, but it would certainly be pretty chilly under that ridge, I think, through the first week of September. Heading further out with GFS run, the ridge breaks down and low pressure comes in at the end of this particular GFS run. That gets us to Monday, the 9th of September, as far as we can go. So the GFS has definitely moved towards a cooler and more unsettled outcome now to the first week to 10 days of September. But again, we saw it within the ensembles. This chart just here shows that it wasn't a cold outlier. It wasn't a cool outlier because there are other ensemble members doing the same thing. But it was certainly at the cooler end of the ensemble, if you like, and these ones up here, of course, they're at the warmer end of the ensemble. So we should wait and see. It's a little bit of mystery where things are going for the first week of September. This is a GM, so again, the heat hangs on Tuesday. Wednesday, there's a trough moving into the country, so that could be the trigger for some thunder. That's Thursday. By then we're pulling in cooler air from off the Atlantic. Temperatures are dropping quite significantly. And then that's Friday, looking quite unsettled with the GEM. Showers along with spells of rain. Up in the north, much cooler temperatures for all of us as well. And then into the weekend, well, this is Saturday, low pressure heading in off the Atlantic. That's bringing quite a bit of rain with it. That gets out of the way for Sunday, leaving us in this very cool, showery northwesterly wind for the first day of September. And then up to day 10, same idea as the GFS, really. High pressure gradually easing itself in from off the Atlantic. So it's drying out by day 10, Tuesday the 3rd of September. But it is within relatively cool air. Again, so certainly no sign of a particularly warm start to September on the model output this morning or today. And then the ECMWF, again, we've got the heat wave hanging on in the southeast anyway on Tuesday. Thundery trough could be developing there on Wednesday. That sort of elongation in the ice bars just there might be indicating a trigger for some thunder on Tuesday into Wednesday. By Thursday, that thundery trough has pushed away into the North Sea, and we are into this cooler, fresher westerly wind, and probably bringing showers into the west. That's Friday. Look at this storm system. The ECM is consistently moving this up towards Newfoundland in the second half of the coming week. I reckon that is almost certainly going to be, although I have not checked, but I suspect that is almost certainly going to be disturbance 1, that area just there that has formed into a tropical storm or something by the time we get through into next week. And by Friday, that has headed up in towards the North Atlantic. It's moving into Newfoundland. For us, though, we're in this sort of westerly flow, reasonably dry in the south, still quite showery up in the north. And then through next weekend, the ECM turns things increasingly unsettled. Low pressure heading in off the Atlantic, bringing showers or longer spells of rain. Disturbance 1 sort of dissipating there to the south of Greenland. And just keep it unsettled there with the ECM as we get through towards day 10. That's how we're looking. It's Tuesday the 3rd of September. And high pressure is trying to have a go at building to the south, but low pressure is dominating to the north, bringing in a showery westerly type pattern. So today, the models do look a little bit more unsettled and cooler through the first week or so of September. These are the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles today at day 10, which is the 3rd of September from the Icelandic Met Office. We have 19 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights out to our west. So reasonably dry about the Atlantic's blocked off, but we will be bringing quite a cool and showery north to northwesterly wind. 16 members of the ensembles have high pressure up to the north and northeast, whereas low pressure is out to the west. These ones will be bringing up quite a warmish southerly flow, but also potentially quite unsettled. So that looks potentially a little bit volatile, maybe a bit thundery. And then we have another 16 with high pressure sort of out to the west of us, and low pressure is up to the north. This does include the operational one as well, by the way. And so that's bringing in this sort of west-northwesterly type flow. Overall, the ECM ensembles look rather cool, I think, at day 10. And potentially a little bit on the unsettled side too. 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we got. This gets us to the 8th of September. 24 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure up to our north, bringing in a westerly flow. So they're a little bit cool and showery. 18 with high pressure extending from Scandinavia to the north of Scotland out into the middle of the Atlantic. Probably going to be some low pressure around here. So actually that's bringing in easterly winds and could be rather unsettled to the south. And then 9 with a very unsettled autumnal with low pressure over top of the country and high pressure up towards Greenland. So that's autumn well and truly on the way there with those 9 members of the ECM ensembles. Again, generally, I think model output has moved towards something a little bit cooler and more unsettled through the opening week to 10 days of September. Today. Finally, the CFS-V2, these are 500 millibar heights broken down to week periods. The first week period will take us from the 24th of August today through to the 30th. High pressure is dominating over and to the east of the country. Low pressure is up to the northwest. And we're bringing in these very warm to hot southerly or southeast winds with plenty of dry weather too. But week 2 looks much more unsettled. This is the 31st of August to the 6th of September. Area of below average heights over top of the country. High pressure up towards Greenland and away to our east. That would leave us doing something like that, the flow with the jet. So again, trough of low pressure. It looks rather unsettled through the opening week of September. This is week 3. It's the 7th to the 13th of September. Above average heights building out to the west of us. Probably doing something like that with the jet stream. So it is blocking off the Atlantic a little bit. It's not particularly unsettled, but it will probably be fairly cool, and particularly so at night with that high pressure sitting out to our west. And then finally in week 4, which is the 14th to the 20th of September, the ridge builds back in. It's centering itself over the country, and it's starting to go northwards too. Low pressure is in the middle of the North Atlantic. Jet stream going something like that. So that's settling down and potentially warming up a little bit there through the middle part of September. That is a very long way off, though, of course. So that's very speculative. Coming back to the more reasonable time frame, which is the next week to 10 days, taking us into the beginning of September. So hot weather hangs around in the southeast in particular through to around Tuesday. Wednesday looks like it's going to be the breakdown day. There may be thunder involved, so watch your space about that. And then as we get through into the second half of next week, cooler, fresher, winds turning westerly, and that might take us into an unsettled spell as we get through to this time next week. We could have some showers or some longer spells of rain. And beyond that, through the opening days of September, I think there's been a definite shift within the model output today, certainly the short-range model output, for things to go back to that idea of being rather cool and a little bit unsettled through the first week or so of September. We shall wait and see. Right, that's it for your videos for today. I'm going to get the final autumn 2019 season 1 roundup on the autumn updates page this evening. There will be a written summary that goes with that too. Tomorrow we're going to begin with Solar Sunday, the last Solar Sunday of the year. So that'll be an interesting watch. First video up tomorrow at 10 AM. We'll also have the final Gas Weather's Sunday Roundup as well for you tomorrow. So they're going to be put on the back burner for the rest of the year in favour of winter updates. And there'll be a little, talking of winter, there'll be a little sneak peek for winter of 2019-2020 tomorrow afternoon. Let's just go through the methodology and sort of giving you a heads up about what we're going to be looking at through the winter updates that are commencing on Sunday the 1st of September. There's a couple of long-range models included within that as well, so be a little bit of fun tomorrow afternoon. And then on Bank Holiday Monday, the historic weather video is going to be looking at the autumn and winter of 1938-1939. Rather an obscure choice. You may be wondering why we've chosen that. You'll find out in the video. There are a couple of reasons why we've chosen the autumn-winter of 1938-1939. All will be revealed on Bank Holiday Monday. And also on Monday, we've got Terry Scully's autumn forecast coming up for you as well. That'll be later in the day on Bank Holiday Monday. So we never stop at Gas Weather. It may be Bank Holiday weekend, but we keep the updates coming. So please keep checking back for more if you can. Right, so that's all for now, though. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.